Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here with my good friend Brenda Lopez. Brenda is an attorney. She's a family law attorney, and she is a superstar. I am very happy to have her here today with us, and I'm going to introduce her, and she's going to take it away and tell you all about her and her practice. Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How's everything going?
Yeah. It's been one thing after another. I think in family law, it's definitely never a dull moment.
Never a dull
And now
moment in a family.
COVID's hit, so especially that's true now.
So tell us a little bit about Brenda Lopez. Who is she?
She is just turned solo practitioner, certified family law specialist. I've been practicing family law exclusively throughout my career. I actually interned for family law lawyers when I was still in law school. And that's kind of how I started into family law. And then I, as a lawyer, started on my own as a solo practitioner and volunteered with the San Diego Volunteer Lawyers Program doing their domestic violence clinic. And then I joined a larger firm in San Diego practicing family law and just last month went solo practitioner again.
Well, congratulations. That must be exciting to start your own business. So,
It is. It's very exciting. I get to make my decisions, things that you take for granted.
tell us what do you do as a family law attorney?
What do we not do? um, we do anything. So I practice family law, and in my practice, handle anything from divorces to paternity cases, dealing with issues on custody and visitation, issues with child support, property division. I handle restraining orders and also handle there's family court and then there's also the Department of Child Support Services, so I do handle those cases as well.
So, what does a day look
And
like?
the occasional therapy, I will add the um a day could be anything from just sitting in your office cranking out paperwork to meeting with clients, both potential new clients as well as current clients. And now that the pandemic has hit, hearings are still happening in family court, but now they're virtual.
So how does that work? If you were going uh, to the court to actually hear a case, how does it work when things have gone virtual?
So now everything is through a program that's called Microsoft Teams. So now family court is all through that program. And it's either people are calling in on that program or they're appearing on a webcam through that program.
So everything is back to normal. Cases are full caseload, and everything is being heard.
Back to COVID normal. So now the courts are open. So a big thing that happened in family court was when the pandemic hit around, well, when pandemic hit San Diego around March, the court shut down for almost 3 months. So there was the only exceptions during that period were emergencies or restraining orders. And the court opened up again in May. And since then, back to COVID normal, because everything is virtual, which this is the first time that family court has been virtual in terms of webcam. We used to be able to do some hearings by phone, but not a lot of people actually did that, just because we would think that going to court in person to present your case was always more advantageous. But did have that option. But now everything's virtual, so nobody's stepping into court. And the only thing that you're able to do in court is file documents and pick up documents at the counter right when you enter into the courthouse or right before you enter into the courthouse. So COVID normal, because things are just being done differently. And another big change for family court in San Diego is that we are now e-filing, which is something that has been in the works for quite some time, for years. Sure, given the COVID situation, to advance that and get that going.
So do you feel that that there is an advantage to going virtual and doing e-filing and meeting through Microsoft Team? Do you think things are happening faster now?
I think things are impacted by the court closure that was done 3 months, because a lot of things had to get rescheduled on top of all the new matters that were getting scheduled. And so I still think there is a delay and things are being set out a little bit further. But now that the court has gone at least virtual and e-filing, we're able to at least advocate for clients when we were at a period of 3 months where there was not much we could do as family law lawyers.
How do you think that affected? I'm thinking in terms of like custody battles or things like that. That must have been very hard on families.
Yes, it was. People were at a loss for what to do. COVID hit and there was some guidance by the state and governor, but there wasn't much at first from the court. And then slowly the court did put out on the court's website some guidelines of frequently asked questions. So things got better, but at the forefront around March and April, it was very difficult. And even to this day, we don't know how they're going to rule with people's concern of COVID as it relates to their children. So there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding this, but I think at least now we have a little more guidance, and those that want to ask the court for help can do so.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. So I'm always thinking that as a family law attorney, you are basically split in the middle. You're kind of like it's very hard to keep things going. Can you give us a synopsis of how that works?
Well, in terms of so COVID's impact, I get a lot of, so what did COVID do? What do I see in family law? I think that when COVID is hit and we're now in this period where we're supposed to socially distance, a lot of us are working from home or staying at home. I think it put a lot in perspective for people in terms of, do they want to stay in this relationship? Whether it's a domestic violence situation or it's just a breakup, I think that did have that kind of an impact. It's never been a shortage of divorces, so I don't know that it's happened more that I think that this just is another thing that has happened that made people realize whether or not they want to stay in it. The thing that I have seen in my practice is a rise in restraining orders. I did see a increase in that during this COVID situation, which a lot of my family law colleagues, that's what we thought was going to happen
Mm-hmm.
um, because of the pandemic and the stay-at-home orders. We were afraid people weren't going to be able to actually ask for help. But I'm actually happy that if people were going through the abusive situation and were able to seek the help, I'm actually glad to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we were afraid that staying at home, they wouldn't have a way to reach out out of fear, right?
Right, right, and that's very sad. There was one report that I was listening to, and they were saying that that even for kids, the fact that they are not able to come to school, that creates a lot of more opportunities for child abuse, because if the kids are coming to school, then the school officials are able to control the kids and kind of have a control over the home environment. But without that, it's very little control that can be done.
Yeah.
So let's move into
Yeah, because then other people aren't seeing them necessarily if their parents aren't taking them out.
yeah. Let's talk about real estate. How does family law and real estate work together?
So family law and real estate do intertwine in a couple of ways. It's all property division related. So if the parties own a timeshare or a real property asset, they'll have to either decide whether they want to agree for one of them to keep it and the other one gets bought out by paying essentially half of the equity in just general terms, or do they agree or want, or maybe the court forces a sale of a house, and so then you need a real estate agent so that you can list it for sale and dispose of the asset and then divide proceeds. So we deal with a lot of real estate. So you have either the appraisal, so you hire an appraiser to do that typically, or you have a sale, which you need a real estate agent. And so we have a lot of interaction both with both kind of professionals in family law cases. That
So they can either reach out to a realtor or reach out to a family law attorney, and either way, we can connect them both ways and kind of service them whatever their needs are.
yes, yes. So it's
Very
always a good thing to have a realtor and an appraiser in your pocket, because when it comes time to divide that asset, whichever way they decide to go, it's always good to have that kind of relationship.
right, right, exactly. So if our listeners and our viewers are trying to find you, where do they go to find you? Where do they go to get more information about you?
They can either go on, so all of the attorneys that are licensed in California are on the California State Bar and find there. You can also reach me on Avo, and you can also find me by searching for me on www.superlawyers.com.
So you actually have a page on Super Lawyers, right? I'm gonna share that screen and show everybody um, what your website looks like, so you can give us more information on this. So do you work downtown normally?
I do. I will. It's technically Bankers Hill. So I actually got a little bit away from downtown's hectic hustle and bustle. The parking down there is sometimes outrageous. So I got a little bit away from downtown and work in the Bankers Hill area, but still within seconds, if not minutes, walking distance into downtown.
Nice. So it's interesting. I like that term, super lawyer. So what does it take to get on a super lawyer list?
So I got on Super Lawyers nominated or selected me as Rising Star for 2019 and for this 2020 term, which is based, you're either a super lawyer or a rising star based on the number of years you practice. So given the number of years I practice, I'm qualified as a rising star.
Nice.
Which is very, very nice, very honoring.
Very, very nice. Yeah, exactly. But you've actually been practicing for a long time.
Just over 8 years now. Time flies. I can't believe it's even been that long. So time does fly. I have been practicing since for about just over 8 years. And before that, I was a legal secretary. So I've been working with lawyers my entire life, practicing for just over 8.
Nice, nice. Well, this is wonderful. We really appreciated that you gave us the time and joined us today. And best wishes, best of luck for your practice. And thank you for what you're doing. I think it's really honorable, and you really provide a valuable service to the community. So thank you for that, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
And viewers, we really appreciate you joining us, and you guys too have a wonderful day.